The Walten Files, a Five Nights at Freddy's inspired analog horror series created by Martin Walls. Please keep in mind that episode 4 is in progress right now, so this video might be inaccurate when it's released. Well, with or without episode 4, it's going to be inaccurate as hell because I'm a dumbass that does not do proper research. Anyways, back to your video. Now, this video isn't going to be a professional explanation. I know there's a lot of those out there on YouTube. I just find the series absolutely horrifying, which is why I'm subjecting myself to such torment. Before we truly get into this, I'm just going to say something real quick. It's been a long time since I made a proper commentary video. In fact, the last proper commentary video I made, I think, was the Friday Night Funkin' one. And to pay for all that time lost, let's change again, shall we? A fresh new coat of paint. Yep, this is officially the 4th iteration of my commentary stills. I know, I said I wouldn't change them again, but this time I mean it. Now let's finally get into the video. Now, let's deep dive into some robots, pizza, and missing people, shall we? Also, I'm aware that many people have explained this before, like I said earlier, but this video is just going to be a more lighthearted approach to the whole thing, for those too scared to actually watch, like me. Now, let's finally get into the... Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened to my computer there. Anyways, Bond's Burgers, the family pizza, burger joint just north of Brighton, Michigan. What other horror flick is located somewhere possibly in Michigan?
Both found dead. She must have been out of her head.
Anyways, the totally fictional Bond's Burgers idea was fabricated in the golden year of 1958, when 2 college buddies decided to get the great idea of ripping off Charles Entertainment cheese here by making a burger joint. These 2 men were Jack Walten and Felix Kranken. What is it with all these creepy VHS horror flicks and having our quote-unquote loving company founders looking straight out of a Raggedy Ann cartoon? Look at this stretchy guy. Jack's probably been gotten his jaw pulled by a 10-ton weight more than once. Anyways, although conceived in 1958, it ended up taking them around 16 years to put this burger joint into actual production, starting with my man Felix pitching the idea at a cyberfun tech. They loved the idea so much that they took it right away and funded the project to open it on the 28th of June in 1974. But, unfortunately, this opening was a few weeks before the odd disappearance of Jack Walten. Before we dive deeper into that, let's explain the first tape. I'm going by the playlist on Martin Wall's official account, which I think has every video in order. Oh yeah, before I watch these 2, I'm going to explain the ones titled The Walten Files and then a number first. So, let's watch. The first thing we see in this company introductory tape when we first watch this video is the big smiley face of our good old mascot Bond. As you can see, this is clearly a Cyberfun Tech and Bunny Smiles Inc. production, circa 1974. Now we meet our cast, the Showstoppers, or as I like to call them, the Heartstoppers. Bond, Benny, Boozoo, and Shaw. Shaw didn't quite meet the B name requirement, so I'm assuming that's why she, The video continues to go through a list of tasks that you have to complete if you want to do your job right here at Bond. Sweeping and cleaning protocols, monitoring the friendly robots, using Bunny Smiles Incorporated's revolutionary technology and maintenance. Ooh, that was a mouthful.
Robot maintenance and repair.
And learning how to use...
Well, wait a minute. What was that? Did you see that? The audio got a bit funky when talking about maintenance. I wonder if something happened during some sort of maintenance involving our good friend Bond here. Well, let's wait and see.
Use BSI technology.
We then see our loving founders of Bond Burgers, the previously discussed Jack Walten and Felix Kranken. After this, the footage glitches and cuts to a green background containing what seems to be a message regarding the storage facility brought to you by Bunny Smiles Incorporated. Here, let me read this for you so you guys don't have to. Save, restore, and secure. The BSI storage facility, also known as K9, is a company project to storage all valuable items from the closed-for-good Bond's Burgers restaurant. Given the situations about the incidents inside the 1974 Bond's Burgers location, any types of props, animatronics, and arcade machines will be carefully moved, inspected, secured inside this bunker, located deep down in St. Juana's forest for good. A facility caretaker will take care of securing the facility and keeping it safe and working properly. Pretty spooky, huh? Hey, have you noticed that all those words are capitalized randomly, and how unprofessional it kinda sounds? I don't know if any of that has any significance to the story, but it sure is odd to me. The screen goes dark as we cut to black. A nice gray fella pops up and says some cryptic shit in reverse.
You finally start to remember. That's all. They will be back for you soon. Sophie.
Who's Sophie, you may ask? We'll get into that in a moment. Now, the rest of this video is a bit of a confusing shit show, so to avoid y'all getting scared, I'll explain it instead of showing any jump scares. I promise, you're safe with me. Big Brother Bulldog is going to show you what it's like to be a real man. Sunlight Animation presents Little Bond's Neighborhood, which was written by Sarah Evelyn, who I don't think is important to the story at all. Little Bond's Neighborhood, being an obvious spin on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, is what appears to be a cartoon series about our burger shop's entertainers. Today's episode is Bond's Super Sleepover. Here we see Little Bond preparing for a slumber party with all of his friends. He invites classics such as Shaw, Boozoo, and an unfamiliar character named Billy, although he didn't invite Banny, probably because there's a bit of drama occurring in the friend group. Well, let's go over that list again and see who we missed. Shaw, Boozoo, and... Wowza, scary, wasn't it? That was the face of Jack Walton. We then see everyone arrive at Bond's door to go watch the movies. The narrator says that Little Bond spent all of his hard-earned cash on the hilarious movie. Well, with such a big price tag, I can only imagine that the movie is going to be the best. Now, this is where things get even creepier, huh? While watching, the camera cuts to a TV where we can see a bunch of things surrounding it. Some lotion, a Little Bond plushie, and a pill bottle with a girl Sophie's name on it. Now, let me just finally reveal who Sophie is so I don't cock tease you guys anymore. She is a huge part of the story, so I don't want to leave her out the whole time. This is Sophie Walton, the daughter of Jack and Rosemary Walton. The TV flashes with "Let Me Out of Here" and cuts to black. Our cast is sleeping soundly before audio completely cuts out after a bit.
Once the night drops, they all
Little Bond, with his fancy mask, hears something in the distance and goes to check it out. A missing poster for Jack Walton. And this text is really blurry, but with my hawk eyes, I can see that it says that he was last seen sometime in December. Little Bond finds a lighter on the floor, and after a few clicks, this happens.
A floating shopping list!
Sophie replaces Little Bond as a jarring sound is played, with the real Bond behind her. Wow, my britches have been soiled. But wait, there's more. I'm gonna caption what's being said in this next clip for y'all to hear. And this takes place in 1982, a couple years after Bond's Burgers was founded.
Okay, I think that's good enough. So, this is the brand new caretaker for the old Bunny Smiles facility. I'm recording this because the company requires some type of archives for the work history, something like that. I honestly have no clue because I started working here. Actually, I'm going there right now. But they gave me this weird location, somewhere in a forest, I think, to work at. And I've been driving for 20 minutes, and I can't find the place.
The mystery man driving along the suspicious dirt path that leads to the Canine Facility Unit, who we later know as a caretaker named Brian Stells, finally finds a storage bunker after a bit of driving. Upon entering, he stumbles upon a rusty-looking Bond. Brian, who's holding the camera, uses a remote to move some of Bond's parts to see if he still functions properly.
Let's, check
After a little bit, Bond starts grooving on his own before he cuts to Bond all alone in a white void. His eyes turn all spooky and human-like, and then he starts to ooze his last meal because he's a gross bitch that can't keep his mouth shut. Nearing this video's conclusion, we see Brian coughing and running from the facility.
What was that thing?
Clearly Bond wants a piece of our boy Brian here. Or does he? Now we see Bond covered in ketchup after slipping and falling while holding a big plate of fries. Silly rabbit can't keep his balance. No wonder he's shaking with embarrassment. Some white 3D faces start shape-shifting on the screen with some cryptic music playing in the background. This is what I'm assuming Bond was doing when trying to find his real target. He wasn't hunting for Brian. Oh, no. He wanted
Sophie.
I know this since Brian's mutilated corpse relays a message to the viewer on the screen. And because Sophie was a night guard with Bond behind her during that earlier scene. I can't feel anything. He thought I was her. Finally, to end off this part, we see Brian Stell's name tag with his GTA font displayed on screen. Wowza, what a scarefest. Now, you guys can take off your stereotypical movie 3D glasses if you want, but this is only the first video, ladies and gentlemen, so we can just relax a moment before bunny hopping to the next video.
You're a fat fuck! You fat waste of good cock! Finish! Ah!
I'm gonna quickly talk about who Billy, Rosemary Walten, and Sophie Walten are more, so we know for future reference. Sophie Walten, like I said before, is an important character. The meds on the TV stand in the first tape are possibly for anxiety, and she also has 2 siblings that I'll talk about later on, and a girlfriend. Billy the Clown is an animatronic not seen in the first tape. Similar to Foxy in Five Nights at Freddy's, Billy probably has her own attraction, which is why he's never seen with the other showstoppers. Also, there's someone inside of Billy. It's not out of the ordinary for a FNAF-inspired series to stuff people into robots, but I just wanted to let you know before truly spoiling it later on. And yes, if you haven't caught on, there are going to be spoilers in this video. I mean, I'm explaining the whole series. Rosemary is the loving mother of Sophie and 2 other siblings. Just keep the names Ed and Molly in your head for a bit, since I'll dive into their fucked up lore in a bit. Ever since Jack Walten disappeared, she went to the restaurant every single day to try to find him. I'll also get into her major parts later on, too. Now let's talk about the Relocate Project. We open with a hard-hatted Bond presenting the logo to Bunny Smiles as he gives us a cute little glitched wave. Also on the bottom there we see that a full date is blocked out via a censor bar, but I'm assuming that this is around 1975 through 1978. The TV statics as a voice talks about the Relocate Project. This is just like when any other business relocates, but in this case, relocation was actually a backup plan by Felix Kranken. This ended up taking 4 years of legal paperwork to complete.
That's right. After 4 long years of legal paperwork, we finally decided...
While this is being explained, we can see Little Bond reading some papers and looking through files. Eerily enough, we could see some of the files are censored out, and the box containing them is cut off at the end. Using my amazing skills, I'm just gonna assume that this text down here says that Jack is still here. This means that Jack is still in Bond's Burgers, somewhere. That'd be either inside a robot, or in the walls, I don't know.
But before we go into details, we want to greet all the new Bunny Smiles employees.
The narrator then says that the animatronics and props were stored in a facility unit in St. Juana's Forest, the one we saw previously, as an animation shows a worker transporting Billy the Clown into a storage truck. But the truck driver is revealed to be Jack Walten! Did I wake you guys up? Yeah, I know this video is boring. Keep watching. After this, we see a bunch of merch lined up.
Did someone say merchandise?
Oh my god. Yes, sexy bot, I said merch, but it's only for this video. We're not promoting ourselves in the middle of this.
Why not? You have had the biggest opportunity to become a full sellout after the initial merchandise promotion video was uploaded.
Why would I want to be a sellout? Just... get out of my video.
I will get out of your fat fucking face if you let me promote.
Fine. I know you won't leave, and everyone's gonna get annoyed, and everyone will leave the video, so go ahead. Promote.
Hey bitches, sorry to interrupt, but go to this link for some comfy, high-quality sad bulldog merchandise. It is all reasonably priced and well-made.
Okay, sexy bot, that was your 10 seconds of fame, now get out of here.
Now that I think about it, the link is pretty confusing and fucked up, so I'll just hack into your account after this video is uploaded, and make it the top link in the description.
No, sexy bot, you're not doing that.
See ya, motherfuckers.
No. Anyways, the narrator then continues to talk about how Felix Kranken is the mastermind behind all of this. He's the one who thought of the amazing idea to repurpose everything, and he is the only one in this photo. It's as if Jack is being shunned away from the company for good. He's then revealed to not only have a giant brain, but also a giant heart. Oh. Jack Walten in cartoon form interrupts this program. Also, his smiling face comes up before moving on to a most likely unplanned event. This event is called the reprogramming phase, featuring our underrated purple bunny, Benny. She opens and closes her mouth, looks side to side, and God, what the fuck? That is Susan Wooding's face. I don't know why, out of every single scary thing in this series, her regular face scares the shit out of me. It's just so creepy and long. Susan here was the first Bunny Smiles employee to have taken the room temperature challenge, also known as and was unlawfully stuffed into Benny. Next part we see is a pixelated Benny trying to escape Brazil on an empty stomach, as we can hear by the narrator loudly exclaim that, I quote, "The rabbit in the cage is starving."
The rabbit is starving. Is starving. Is starving.
Benny then gives us a close-up of her face, a rabbit in a cage appears, and another missing poster. Wow, that was a lot to go through in such little time. You know, what is it with this series and jumping around so much? I mean, I get that it's supposed to be scary, but it's hard to follow sometimes, just being honest. The gang's all here. Well, except for Billy. Also, Shaw's endoskeleton. How do I know this is Shaw's? Just look on the wiki. And finally, an arcade machine titled BunnyFarm. BunnyFarm is actually very important to the story, since it's the title of the next and longest tape in the series. And look, now the gang's all here again. Plus that little gray fellow we saw in the introductory tape. Also, this guy's official name is Rocket, and he's possessed by the previously mentioned Ed and Molly together, Jack and Rosemary Walton's other kids. Now we see a cute little animation of Shaw with 3D glasses presenting us with some more technical support. Man, if this series wasn't horror, I bet we could actually—
Would you stop interrupting the fucking video?
Alright. Now, a lot of this is just Shaw talking about some stuff, so I'll let it play. See you guys soon.
Welcome to Technical Support. Today we will focus on the area tour and orientation inside K9, the Bunny Smiles storage facility. We recommend all facility caretakers to have all needed equipment in hand and to always wear the Bunny Smiles uniform. But most importantly, all of you must always, under any circumstance, use your BSI card. Once you have all the necessary equipment at hand, we are ready to go. Hello, I see you made it to the storage facility. I bet you must be very excited and nervous to start working here. But let's stop and think. Do you have all the necessary items for your job tasks? I thought so. Let's put on a nice backpack and start packing some items. Let's check the items you will require for your job at K9. Lantern? Check. Snacks? Check. Key? Check. Camera? Check.
Bon, why are you looking at me like that, you silly rabbit? Oh, hi Jack. This next part explains what happened to Rosemary. Remember earlier when I said that Rosemary went to the burger joint every single day to find Jack Walton? Well, what played out on one fateful day was a bit gruesome.
It's important to keep track of which rooms you enter. This place can be really tricky and you could get lost very easily. This is the resting room. In this room, you can sit down, rest, talk with coworkers, you name it. Remember to always keep this room as clean and organized as possible. A clean environment helps to get tasks done faster. A dirty environment only makes your job harder to get done.
Look at that little shadow man right there. He's gonna come back to us later as well.
Alright, this is the main hall of the place. In front of you, you will find 3 doors. These are storage areas. The first door is used to save any kind of cleaning items and supplies. The second door is used to save a kind of prizes and merch that was available in a Bon's Burgers restaurant. The third door is used to hide.
You hear that? The third door is used to hide. This implies that Bon, who has an unremarkable lust for Sophie and the Walton family as a whole, chased down Rosemary while she was scouting in the restaurant. Apparently, a voice called out to her telling her where her husband was. Instead, she found Bon.
Rose broken will fix you. You will beautiful. You will beautiful. You will beautiful.
It seems that Bon's whole plan is to beautify his victims. You know what, Bon? Why don't you beautify these fucking nuts? Because what you're doing to these people is so Okay. Shaw explains that she is now beautiful. When all of a sudden, the same ketchup accident that happened to Bon now happens to Shaw. Oh no, she's deathly allergic. You better shake it all off before it gets to your system, Shaw.
It was too much ketchup.
And after all this, Rosemary's missing poster is shown, confirming her death. I feel so bad for her. Like, this wasn't deserved at all. All she wanted was her husband to come back. Fuck you, Bon. The Five Nights at Freddy's static sound plays as another clip rolls. 3 BunnyFarm employees were sent to execute the Relocate Project. Here from left to right we see Hillary, Ashley, and Kevin out here looking like a Paul McCartney clone. I'm gonna go ahead and take a piss, so you guys can watch this clip on your own if you wish. I'll add captions too, don't worry.
Oh no, but the place itself was open during a short period of time, in which a certain number of cases occurred around the area. Huh, yeah. And there were complaints from people that lived near the restaurant about the place playing music during midnight, like 2 or 3 in the morning, along with the lights on, which was weird, because back then, the company didn't really worry about hiring night guards. But yeah, the place closed after people reported hearing the screams of an adult woman inside of the restaurant. Jeez. So yeah. Some hours after that specific case was reported, restaurants decided to close its doors, probably because authorities needed to check the place or something. What's weird about this is that the last day Bonds was open, they only let like 1 or 2 families in. And they mentioned later that the animatronics, like the entertainers, were completely absent and the curtains were closed.
Well, that's odd.
Fuck. This forest reminds me of the movie, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Alright, I'm back. What did I miss? Oh, that's right. They then walk into the building, they check out the animatronics, blah 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 blah. Why they have to sleep in this musty dusty ass location? No clue. Oh look, it's Rocket! And now our boy Billy appears, singing the song of his people. He mentions a couple names. Rosemary, Jack, Susan Woodings, Sophie, and one other. Charles.
Jack, Susan, Charles, Rosemary, Sophie.
We don't know much about Charles other than, spoiler alert, he's the one possessing Buzu. I know this because of an event coming up in BunnyFarm that you'll all see. Bond does his thing and kills a lot of people, blah blah blah. Billy asks if we want to hear him sing some more. Before that, Bond pulls his face off, which uncovers a yucky sight. For one frame after this, there's text. They left the next day. They thought Ashley left early, but she was in the back doors, screaming as much as she could, but no one heard the screams. The following days, the caretakers would complain about an awful smell coming from the back doors. The company decided to shut down the facility until new advice. The Relocate Project was unsuccessful. Ashley is still there, but she's not screaming anymore. She saw something she wasn't supposed to see. And now, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. 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 And thus, putting the Relocate Project to an end. Wow, that's a lot of information. I sure hope there's not a 58-minute part at all. Welcome to BunnyFarm, a hit classic game made by BunnySmiles Games. It seems that BunnySmiles has dipped into every industry known to man, haven't they? Is this why I keep seeing this damn rabbit everywhere in the grocery store? Since this tape is 58 minutes long, I'm going to be speeding through some parts that I don't think are very important to the story, or parts that I don't think need to be included. Anyways, that intro reintroduced us to Sophie, and newly introduced us to her girlfriend, Jenny Letterson. As we can see here, these two are the beta testers for this project. Man, I love the continuity of this series. Other than this, which is technologically impossible for the time they're in, everything in here is perfect. Also, the theme song for this is Morse code for SOS. How did they turn a distress signal into a banger? Jenny wants to show Sophie this game that she's apparently wanted to show for a while.
Yeah, this is the game I wanted to show you, Sophie.
Oh, huh. Nice.
Yeah, I played it for a while. Thought you would enjoy it.
Thanks.
Also, they installed the machine in the basement of the building not so long ago, so please try to be careful. The janitor told me these are hella expensive.
Also, remember what I said about the continuity of this series? I don't think people used the term hella back in the 80s. Oh, shit. Guess I'm wrong. Sophie makes her file with a little heartwarming character moment to go along with it.
Right, so you gotta choose a name now.
I see your name over there.
Yeah, but the idea is that you play the game from scratch.
I see. Put my name over here then. So, fuck. Oh, shit, I can't go back.
Dumbass. Huh.
Oh, it seems that I've gotten her name wrong this whole video. Well, I guess I'll call her Soapy now. Now, this is more dialogue for me to go over, so I'll just let it play.
Alright, gang. Gather around.
What is it, Mr. B?
Yeah, what is it, Bob?
Oh, don't tell me you guys forgot about today.
Oh, I know. Ask me, please. I know, ask me.
Anyone else aside from Benny? Alright, Benny. What day is it today?
You better not get this wrong, Benny.
Today is the annual fruit festival. We do a huge party on the restaurant every year.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, heavens, me too. Well, I'm sure this party was much better than last year's, right?
I need all of you to put your fruits in these baskets. you guys love fruits, right?
Mr. Pete the Hippo Man tells the gang that they don't have to worry about their fruit festival being cancelled for over a silly mistake. Billy is briefly mentioned and shunned right after.
What?
Jenny gives Soapy some info about how the controls work, and off we go. I've no clue how any of this was possible back in the day with all this 80s technology, but rendering all these cows and pigs at the same time must have been hell for the game. See the well with the spooky eyes? He comes into play later on. Soapy tells Jenny about Bunny Smiles.
Bunny Smiles Incorporated.
Have I heard that name before?
I mean, that company has been pretty relevant these past few weeks. Didn't you hear?
What happened?
Some weird rumors and shit. Apparently there was this one employee that drove to some forest a few days ago. Not too far away from here, actually. He hasn't been seen around ever since he drove to that place.
Really?
Soapy has a bit of memory issues, and it still upsets me a bit that she's gotta do this, since I don't think poor old Jenny realizes what happened to her partner. They click on Billy's game after visiting Boozoo and Shaw first. After a bit of chitter-chatter, Billy takes over and seems to be talking to Bond. Also, little Jack Walton is on the wall right here. The footage glitches and the real Billy shows up in the corner of the screen. So, obviously, the game is haunted. Hoorah, whoop-de-doo, nothing we've seen before. You know what, let's just skip to the juicy parts. I'll tell you guys if I find anything along the way. Billy escapes out of frame as we see a new character appear. This is the show bear. I wonder what his design was influenced by. I can't quite get it. The face of what I assume to be Molly shows up and gives us a nice jump scare to start off the creepy bits of this tape. Soapy runs into Rocket once more. This is practically confirming that Rocket, aka Ed and Molly together, are haunting this game to fuck with Soapy and Jenny. Are they vengeful spirits? Are they jealous that Soapy is still alive? Let's talk about that. Her parents, siblings, and many others are dead. All Bond wanted was Soapy. I'm not saying that Soapy would obviously give up her life to a robo bitch, but I don't think she's aware of what's been happening. A day passes, and Jenny tries to help Soapy reload her crashed file. Rocket's terrifying face appears, and we get an error message. There's a high chance that BunnyFarm.ppx file data has been corrupted, or its information has been altered/replaced by a third party, aka the ghosts, as you know. We recommend you unplug the machine immediately. Opening the file may lead to unknown glitches and errors in the levels. If you want to continue, however, we warn you that the machine could suffer major changes, and, at its worst case, a complete shutdown, deleting all valuable information in it. Do you still wish to continue? It seems that they just ignore this error message and move on. Jenny and Soapy run around some more trying to discover some hidden glitches and secrets. After this, we come across a new minigame and some new characters. This is Holly the horse, and it seems that Banny has a bit of a crush on her.
I'm supposing you two are here to help me feed the pigs, right?
Why the hell does the barn have eyes? To me personally, I think that the reason some buildings and areas have eyes laying around is that so Ed and Molly can see what Soapy's doing. Jenny sorts this cute photo in a sorting minigame. This flashes the employees only door for a moment, and right after this is Susan's audio log, which someone slipped into the recording of BunnyFarm apparently. And I could tell it's a recording because it says recording up in the corner. Susan says that the opening week was a bit strange. As we know, that's when Jack Walton disappeared. She also mentions Rosemary looking around for Jack, and swiftly goes back to talking about how the first birthday party to ever occur at Bond's went according to plan. She goes on about how Bond works, until, as we know, she was killed. The footage cuts out and shows a BunnyFarm style in-game footage of what occurred before Susan's demise. Remember, she was the technician, so obviously she had to check up on this stuff occasionally. She checks the animatronics against the wall, and then picks up a wrench, which I know is the international sign of a work tool. As soon as she walks towards Bond, her fate is sealed. Now, this next part is fucking horrifying, so you've been warned. There's some scary-ass imagery coming up. Remember how I said that Susan's regular face scares me more than anything else? Well, this part gave me nightmares. The photo of Susan we all know gets destroyed beyond comprehension. This is Susan Wooding's post-mortem. Martin Walls, I applaud you. This is absolutely the scariest thing I've seen come out of a horror series. We slowly start to see Banny appear, signifying Susan getting stuffed in. Pixel Bond walks up to a present, which reveals this haunting image. Susan's entire body. The blurred text down here says, I'm still alive, but I cannot move, and I'm having trouble breathing, and my stomach feels weird. Susan's soul is now inside of a new body, which is why she still feels quote-unquote alive! Good job, Soapy! You just made Susan beautiful! I don't believe that Soapy and Jenny were the ones in control of Bond/Susan here. I think it was extra gameplay recorded after they stopped playing. A scribbled note says Linda Crankin, who seems to have changed her last name to Thompson, most likely with a divorce from Felix Crankin, or remarried. All of this is blurred out except for the last few pages. I'm not going to read all of this, but the basic premise of all these pages is that Felix's ex-wife had been documenting how he's been acting lately. Coming up after this is guilty, so I'm assuming that Felix is guilty. Next up is Buzu. And I just realized in almost 30 minutes of this video, Buzu has hardly ever been mentioned. I guess that's what you get when you make a weird-ass human animatronic. Like, who wants to fucking look at that thing? It's a human. Humans are weird. Besides, the guy possessing him seems to be a random filler character as well. Anyways, it's vague and random, blah blah blah. We don't know much about him. But next up is the matching game. After some time, the couple opens up a panel, showing Charles' face yet again. Buzu doing a really good job at displaying this indescribable feeling that we've all felt before. It's usually accompanied with a aura, but you get the premise. Some more haunty shit goes on with Buzu's game as we move on to the next minigame. Oh yeah, look at the well. It's looking at this Charles poster here. This is Shaw's hide and seek. Oh look, it's Showbear in another building with eyes. When Bond looks in this forest, it says that there's no Shaw in here, but clearly she's right back there. This represents St. Juana's forest, where Ed and Molly were, you know, buried. Cartoony Shaw is finally found in the barn as the mangled Rosemary corpse from before shows up on screen. This section is a recreation of what happened to Rosemary. Again, the voice, which was most likely our ravenous rabid raving rabbit Bond, led her into a trap in the employees only room, which is where she was chopped up and killed. Another one of my least favorite moments in this series happens as the dying screams of Rosemary are heard. I gotta give a lot of credit to all the voice actors. This shit is really convincing. I'm not gonna let this one play because it's just 10 loud seconds of torture. Instead, I'm gonna dub over it.
I spilled my fruit punch and now my mom and dad are gonna get mad at me because it's an easily staining liquid due to the high sugar amounts and it's overall very acidic. I should drink more water since it's good for my health.
Pause here, we see a little title screen, the BunnyFarm logo turned into Ed, Molly, and their gray host, Rocket. The well I talked about earlier makes an appearance as the Showbear slides his way out. Now, Showbear may seem like a big villain, but I think he's actually trying to help Sophie remember things. Besides, he resembles Sophie's memory. I'm just gonna let go of the Soapy gag now. Did you guys even realize I was still doing it? Anyways, the memory fountain is a metaphorical place where all of Sophie's forgotten memories are. Showbear wants to show Sophie these memories, and he also wants Sophie to tell him what she wants to remember, giving her a piece of virtual paper. This part reminds me a lot of another horror web series, Petscop, where the main character, Paul, asks an oblong shape to answer his questions. The bear ignores the who are you question and either forces Sophie to draw Ed and Molly, or Ed and Molly get enraged due to them being drawn in general.
Here goes nothing.
This part surely triggers those memories, as she claims that this image is in fact her old house. I'm pretty sure this tape went over every death at Bond so far. We got Brian, Susan, Charles, Ashley the security guard, Rosemary, and the little kid. But let's see what happened to Felix once and for all, as the end of this is more focused on him, and so is the next clip I'm gonna go over. This is the phone call between Jack and Felix, asking if he could do Jack a favor. Before this, let me actually just say what happened to little kids. Jack wanted Felix to drive them home after a fun school party. A major car crash occurs and ends up killing Ed and Molly. Felix was drunk. Instead of telling his partner in the burger business about his fatal mistake, he just doesn't talk to Jack for a very long time.
Hello? Felix. Jack, what is it? Listen, I was wondering if you could do me and Rose a small favor tonight. I don't know, Jack, today's been it's about Ed and Molly. They have a school event tonight. A school party, and they have no one to pick them up. I need to stay at the workshop to finish the paperwork, and Rose is taking Sophie to the dentist. We were wondering if you could pick them up for the event and take them home later. Tonight? Yeah, if it's possible, of course. Sure, I can do that. Really? Yeah, sure. Oh, thanks a lot, man. You're lifesaver, Felix. It's nothing. Alright, so I'll pick him up at 5 and get him home at 9. Rose should be home by then. If she's not, you call me. Got it? Got it.
Shobear helps Sophie relive her forgotten trauma again. This cuts to the spirits of the kids reenacting what happened before their accident. And this in-game part is recreating the party they went to at school. And they end up finding Felix. This text tells us that he was drunk driving at the time of the accident. This last bit of footage shows the fatal car crash. Take a look.
On its cue. 30 minutes of non-stop rock. Turn it up. Come on like a dream.
How much is left till we get home?
Not much. Just kind of lost, I think.
Uncle Felix, were you drinking?
M-Y-Q.
Our teacher says drinking is not
No, I'm just feeling dizzy. It's not that big of a deal, alright?
Number 531. Flowers 522-4343. I got a zap coming up. Rolling. Go.
I want to go home.
Molly, we're almost there.
Don't you think you're driving too fast?
Listen, I'm just trying to get you to home quickly, alright? Look, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling too good right now. I really I just want to lay in the bed and go to sleep.
It's alright. We get that today wasn't the best for you. We understand. Everything is gonna be okay.
Thanks, Molly.
Heartbreaking. This part where Felix screams is what I'm assuming to be his reaction to him killing the kids. Shobear explains that they didn't make it home that night, and that Felix drunkenly buried them in a random forest. By random, I mean St. Juana's. You know, I used to like Felix, since I assumed that Jack was the bad guy this whole time, but this is beyond fucked. Like, next level fucked. Astronomically fucked. The process of possessing Rocket was shown, since Felix most likely left Rocket at the makeshift gravesite. Okay, noted, I'll never leave my robotic dolls near a graveyard where I buried my partner's kid. The next phone call is when Jack discovers that his children are in fact dead, and Felix is guilty.
I've been calling everyone for you. Just what the hell is wrong with you? 3 hours, you didn't call. I asked you to do one simple favor for me. I need to know, where are they? Where did you...
The final scene shows all of the animatronics, all of these people that Sophie was connected to, meeting with her one last time. And as this 58-minute tape comes to a close, I will still not let go of that. It's 58 minutes. Bond decides to give us another juicy scare. Oh my god! Rocket and the kids send us off one last time before putting this cold case to a close. Wow, yet again. I hope you guys learned something from this video. This tape was obviously way more story-driven than the others, since the others were more about giving scares than actually giving a direct storyline. Well, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Wait a moment, do you really think I would just go off and end it like that? Look at the intro of this video. I've still got 2 more clips to do. But liking and subscribing would be appreciated, huh? Guilty. A short clip showing Felix as a very fleshed out antagonist. Yes, antagonist. The description of this video is an obituary for the little ones. In memorial of Edward Walten and Molly Walten. Ed, 12, and Molly, 9, died Thursday, May 2nd, 1974, in a fatal car accident. They were leaving a party made by their school to celebrate spring. Jack Walten, father, husband, couldn't take the kids to the celebration because of work. A friend of Mr. Walten would take the kids instead. On the way back home, Jack's friend would be driving in questionable conditions, thus crashing his car near the road next to St. Juana's forest, instantly taking both Edward and Molly's lives. You will be remembered, our little angels, our little red children. Oh, so that's why St. Juana's Forest is haunted. Wow, I never made that connection before. Been almost 40 fucking minutes and I still haven't discussed why St. Juana's is all spooky. The kids were buried there. I also love the detail that Felix isn't some cold, sadistic killer that just suddenly killed off his business partner's entire family for money or anything. He's just a scared old man that chooses the worst ways to deal with his problems. Which is why people, including me, feel some sort of sympathy for him. He didn't purposely kill them. He was drunk and chose a horrible choice. And now we move on to the final tape. Lucky You, a short that's more focused on Sophie. As we know, our young protagonist has severe memory issues, as we've seen since tape number 1. This is why she seemed to have forgotten everything after all those deaths and accidents. We see our lovable animatronics withering and laying together in a bunker. You know, I may hate all these fuckers with a passion, but it's gonna make me sad seeing them go so early. I've known these guys for an hour and 3 minutes and yet I love them.
You must be so confused about what you saw. Don't be scared, my little bunny. Answers will be given eventually, but don't try to solve this puzzle only with the pieces you have so far. This is only the beginning. For I'm going to tell you a story of broken people, beautiful people. He is so sorry about what he did to them, but there's nothing he can do. Remember that. Safety and pills, Sophie.
Safety and pills, Sophie. Safety and pills. We see Brian's death again, and Ashley's too. The deaths that were not supposed to happen. The accidents. Hint, hint, Ed and Molly car crash, you know? Bon chills as Heartbreak, made famous by Leland Kirby, aka the caretaker, plays in the background. Bon obsesses yet again about how he's made his victims beautiful, which references the fact that Jack loved his 3 beautiful children. The text talks about how he doesn't know how he did it, but he did. And Shaw's Endo gives us the final dance break of this series. They will see you soon, Sophie. The curtains fall as the Walten Files makes its unofficial true ending. This series has been a blast. Finally, this giant video is complete. I know this entire thing was probably an embarrassing shit show, but taking these 3 weeks to make this was just so fun. I did not have a single dull moment creating it. Please, if you made it this far, consider subscribing, liking, and telling me how you liked or didn't like the video. I also have a Patreon and YouTube memberships down in the description, along with a Discord for people that like to chill and have fun. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for being patient, and to my patrons especially for being cool. Well, this is it. Thank you for watching.
Back in the 80s, I was in a trauma-related murder noise. I'm Sophie Walten, Sophie Walten, don't act like you don't know. And I'm trying to remember my past. It's been so long.